Hey guys, welcome back. So in this week's video, I'm going to do something a little different and actually show you a bit of hardware that I've got. It's a modular synth, and I'm kind of posing myself the question, and maybe out to you guys as well, is getting involved in modular worth it, or can we recreate it inside of Ableton's Wavetable? I'm going to create both a bass line and a sample and hold style hit, which is quite popular in like Electro and Prog house, and see if I can recreate it inside of Ableton. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so let's start with a bass patch. As you can see, I'm sequencing both my modular patch and Ableton with the Arturia BeatStep Pro. I've actually unintentionally created a bass line in a similar vibe to La Tigre by Overmono, if you know the track. As for the patch, we're using just 3 modules for this. Mutable Instruments Plaits as the voice, WMD C4rbn as the filter, and Pam's new workout as the clocked modulation source, with some reverb from Ableton. So let's first hear what Plaits is bringing to the table. I've set it with a shortish decay and on the wave shaping oscillator model, an asymmetric triangle wave being processed by a wave shaper and a wave folder, similar functions to what we have inside Wavetable. The timbre affects our wave folder amount, and the morph our waveform asymmetry, similar to the warp feature in Wavetable. Now let's feed that into C4rbn. As you can hear, the filter's a really nice character about it, and it comes with wave folding and saturation too. I want to give a shout out to Mark, who suggested this module. His videos on Modular are wicked, so please check them out. Here's just a quick snippet of one of his vids. Drums. Okay, let's get Pam's doing the modulating for us. I'm only going to use 2 channels as LFOs to make it a fair comparison to Wavetable's 2 LFOs. So on output 5, I've got a random wave set to 50%, playing once per beat. As you can hear, it's filtering out and introducing resonance at random to the higher frequencies of the bass. Now for some more gradual modulation, using output 8, set to a sine LFO, resetting every 16 beats. Let's introduce it to Plaits morph, our waveform asymmetry, turning the attenuator up by half. Finally, let's also add it to our filter saturation. As you can hear, when I cycle through, the strength of the saturation has a big impact on the filter sound. Applying LFO to this will smoothly increase and decrease the saturation, adding some nice movement to the patch. Now let's apply what we've used to create this patch to Wavetable to see how close we can get. First, let's start with the triangle wave we used. Now let's bring the filter down and increase its resonance before applying some wave folding, just like in our modular patch. Now for the amp envelope, which we'll also keep plucky, with 0 sustain and a bit of a tail and decay. Finally, some distortion using the MS2 filter to act like our saturation. Now to modulate. Just like our modular patch, let's create 2 similar LFOs, 1 sine and 1 random. Now let's apply the slow sine LFO to the warp and distortion drive, while applying the random LFO2 to our filter's position. And there we go, pretty close. Here's the modular. And then the Wavetable. Not bad. Okay, let's tackle a slightly more complex sound, a sample and hold style one shot, which you might hear in electro and progressive house tracks. So we're using the same model as our bass patch, but with a longer decay and sending it out the bandpass outpass of our filter. We're also applying some reverb and decay inside Ableton. Now for the modulators. Let's start with output 8. Again, we're going to use a slow sine wave, this time with the level turned down to 20% and the rate every 8 beats. I'm going to mult the signal with this stack cable and send 1 to the morph and 1 to the timbre, i.e. the wave folding and the asymmetry. I'm going to increase the attenuator on the morph while decreasing the one controlling the timbre, so that the LFO sweeps them in opposite directions. Now for output 5, which I'm going to set to a random square wave set to 50% and with a rate of 4 pulses per beat. I'm going to first feed this into the filter's frequency modulation. You should be able to instantly hear the effect this quick random wave is having, as it's quite a common sound for the genres that I mentioned earlier. Now we can apply this to our saturation, and to push the effect further, the volt per octave tracking of the filter. Finally, I'm just tweaking some settings to find the sweet spots. let's go back to Ableton to see how close we can get. So again, we'll use the same triangle wave, but this time with a bandpass filter with OSR distortion, up 10 dB. Now for our amp envelope, which will decrease the sustain on, but bring up the decay and release to make it slowly tail off. Like our modular patch, I'm also going to introduce some wave folding. Now let's recreate our two LFOs and start applying them. I'm going to send my slow sine to the warp and fold, while sending my fast random LFO to my saturation, and most importantly, my filter frequency. And there you go. Here's a comparison between the modular and Wavetable. Not bad. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and maybe that's got you excited about Modular, or maybe it's got you excited about Ableton. Posing the answer to the question that we set at the start of the video, is it worth getting into Modular? Is there like a noticeable difference? Is it worth investing the money? I mean, that'll be down to yourself. To be honest, I really love the fact that I can play with it and also, you know, create these patches, which they're made and then you kind of have to break them apart and make something new. I also think maybe that the character and sound from the stuff that we made on the Modular was maybe a little bit stronger than the stuff on Ableton, but personal preference really. I'm sure if we tweaked the Ableton patch a little bit more, we could have got more out of it. If you've got any questions about Modular or anything, let me know in the comments down below. And if you are looking to make some more electro and proggy style sounds, then check out this video here. Alright, catch you in the next one.